Good morning. Parajumbles or para-anagrams is an important and difficult topic for students targeting IIM-CAT and XAT. Despite preparing this topic, attending classes and doing a lot of practice, students still struggle with parajumble questions and cannot attain 100% confidence and accuracy. A total of 20 concepts need to be clear to students to become perfect at parajumbles, followed by a certain amount of practice. I also believe that students can learn through practicing on questions from any source, but their learning should be applicable on actual questions from IIM-CAT and XAT exams. So in these video sessions, I'm going to teach you through previous year questions that have appeared on actual IIM-CAT and XAT exams. In case of parajumble questions, normally as a first step, a paragraph from a book is picked up, chosen, and then the sentences inside that paragraph, 4 to 6 of them, their sequence is changed. So the first sentence ends up becoming the third sentence, and the second one is put in the first position. A third sentence possibly goes into the fourth position, and a fourth sentence goes into the second position. This is how your parajumble question comes into the picture. In case of IIM-CAT exam, you normally have to type in your answer. So you need to know the complete sequence, the exact sequence, and then you have to type it. But the good part of it is that these are questions which do not have negative marking if you get a wrong answer. And these are called as plug in the answer questions or the Peter questions. On the other hand, in case of exams such as that, you end up getting 4 options and you've got to choose the best option out of the lot. But out here in case of that questions, if you even only identified position of even one sentence correctly or 2 sentences correctly, then you can end up getting your answer without solving the entire question. But still, the questions in case of that would have a negative marking attached to them. Now, while solving of parajumble questions, you have to arrange the jumbled sentences in the right sequence according to a certain set of rules. The first and foremost are English grammar rules. Simple concepts such as pronoun usage, articles, conjunctions, helps. Then there are literary English rules which govern how authors structure a paragraph in an article, essay or a story. Then there are figurative English rules. Figurative English is used to increase interest, involvement and engagement of the reader by using certain rhetorical appeals and rhetorical devices. This also helps a reader to understand difficult and dense stuff. Moreover, authors also enjoy a lot of artistic freedom and creative license, which permits them to break rules to achieve their objectives. But above all, teachers like me do a little bit of reverse engineering of various kinds of actual paragraphs to understand what tricks can be used to unscramble a jumbled paragraph. But basically, you have to be good at a few objective things. The first is you need to be good at identifying the topic sentence or the first sentence of the whole lot. You need to be good at identifying the mandatory pairs of sentences in the paragraph. You have to be good at identifying the last sentence and the various roles that it plays inside a paragraph. You need to also identify lone wolves and put them into the right position. And during the solving of the question, you will have to take a lot of decisions and you will have to check whether those decisions work for you or not. So, in case of parajumble questions, there's a whole list of concepts, a total of 20 concepts that it comes down to, which help you to achieve 100% accuracy. These 20 concepts can objectively solve each and every previous year question which has appeared on IIM-CAT. In case of today's session, we are going to focus upon the first item in the list, which is topic sentence. So, topic sentence, which is also called as a leading sentence or introductory sentence or the first sentence of a paragraph, basically introduces the topic to be discussed in a very general way. 2 things. It has to be the sentence which introduces the topic, and it has to do it in a general way. Now we need a certain bit of clarity to understand what is the meaning of the word general. If I look at 2 groups, one group is countries and the second group is India, then India is a smaller and specific group which is part of a bigger and general group which is countries. So countries here is general and India is specific. When you have to identify the topic sentence, there are two steps which are involved. The first step is that you have to be good at understanding the general theme of the whole paragraph. After you understood the general theme of the paragraph, then the next step is to find out which sentence introduces the topic in a general way with other sentences explaining it specifically and elaborating the whole discussion. This is concept number 1 of Parajumbles. Read it again. Read the two steps again. Now let's apply these two steps and whatever we've learned about topic sentence, that it introduces the topic in a very general way, to an actual question which has appeared in IIM-CAT. This question appeared in IIM-CAT 2022, the latest IIM-CAT. Please pause the video at this stage, attempt this question, take 2 to 3 minutes to arrive at your answer, and resume the video once you have written down the answer, which will be the right sequence in which these 4 sentences should be present. So pause the video, solve the question, use pen and paper, and play the video again after you have solved the question. Pause. Okay, let's start solving it. When you check these 4 sentences, you can see that they are basically talking about the relationship between office commute and productivity. So the theme of the paragraph, which is common to all the 4 sentences, is office commute and productivity, or the relationship between office commute and productivity. If you look at it, sentence 2 introduces the whole paragraph on shorter commutes, while all the rest of the sentences, they give us its results, pros and cons, and deliberate over it. So topic sentence in case of this particular paragraph is sentence number 2. Now, apart from the fact that yes, sentence 2 is a topic sentence of this paragraph, let's solve the rest of the question also. Here sentence 2 is introducing the observation or the idea that shorter commutes support innovation and are good. On the other hand, if you look at sentence number 1, then sentence 1 is corroborating or supporting it specifically and shows a result which is company leaders are also basing their decisions upon it. Now, whenever rules, concept or an observation is given, it will always be followed by elaboration or a reason or an example or an application or a result or an exception in this particular order. Here, the result of sentence 2, which is giving you an observation or a rule or a concept, is sentence number 1. As a result, 2-1 is a mandatory pair. It is termed as rules mandatory pair. This is the second thing which you can observe in this question, the second relationship. Let's solve it further. You can also observe that sentence number 1 and sentence number 4 both have the same beginning. Both of them start with the word some. This is indicative of a rhetorical tool called as anaphora. A rhetorical tool is a writing style which increases the interest and engagement of the reader. Anaphora is a rhetorical tool in which the sentences are begun or ended in a similar manner. So sentence number 1 and sentence number 4, they have to be together because they've got similar beginning. Now, apart from the fact that both sentence 1 and sentence 4, they start with some, saying some believe in one thing and some believe in the opposite, I still do not know how to put them in a sequence, whether sentence 1 will come first or whether sentence 2 will come first in this mandatory pair. But because I've already found that 2 is to be followed by 1, so 4 can only come after that, which means now I have a clear mandatory sequence which says 2, 1, 4 is to be the sequence. Here 1, 4 is the mandatory pair or and a 4 a mandatory pair. Let's solve it further. Here sentence 4 gives a concept which is believed by some people, and the justification of why the relationship between long commute and productivity has developed by many of the workers who have grown accustomed to their commute-free arrangements during the pandemic. While if you observe sentence number 3, this is giving a contrast between commute-free work from home scenarios and greater creativity and productivity when you go to the office, because office water cooler conversations are also very important for innovation. So 4-3 is another mandatory pair. It's a rules mandatory pair where a concept is being followed by its contrast. This is the third relationship which you can see here in this particular sentence. So the sequence which we have got is sentence number 2 is the leading sentence. 2-1 was one mandatory pair which we found. 1-4 was the second mandatory pair which we found, and you can also see that there is a 4-3 mandatory pair. So the complete sequence becomes 2-1-4-3. Now there's one more thing which has to be observed so that you do not face a problem in later questions. If you look at the role of the last sentence in this particular paragraph, then the last sentence out here is sentence number 3. Sentence number 3 is just providing a contrast to whatever was present in the previous sentence, which is sentence number 4. So the last sentence is not summarizing or concluding here. It is providing a contrast to the second last sentence here, or the sentence just before it. Then let's look at another aspect of this question. In this particular question, some students may be confused whether 3-4 is a mandatory pair or is 4-3 a mandatory pair. Whenever you come across this kind of a situation, decide what is right according to you, according to common sense, and later while reviewing the question, check whether your decision was right or not. If you had made a mistake, understand what mistake you made, realize your mistake, and learn not to repeat that mistake. That is how you're going to improve. Now, an essential part of learning Parajumbles is to understand something called as paragraph structure, cohesiveness, and flow after you have seen the right answer. You should read the sentences in the correct sequence while reviewing to develop a sense of how paragraphs are constructed. This will help you in cracking future questions. Here, the first sentence, which is sentence number 2, it gives you an observation or a cause or a rule of sorts. Its effect is given in the next sentence, which is sentence number 1. And then we have some kind of a doubt which is seeded in case of sentence number 4. And then sentence number 3 provides a perfect contrast to whatever sentence number 4 is saying. This is the whole logical sequence of the 4 sentences. This kind of a review of the paragraph structure is something which is essential. This will help you. Always do this for every question, whether you get it right or whether you get it wrong when you're reviewing. Now, as a follow-up to this session, in later sessions we are going to learn about rest of the 19 strategies for Parajumbles, and we will solve actual questions that have appeared in previous year exams of IIM-CAT and XAT. I also want you to subscribe this YouTube channel so that you can automatically get the future instructional videos that I plan to release on a weekly or a fortnightly basis. And I want you to share this video with your fellow aspirants so that others can also benefit. Thank you. Bye for now.